Alright, so continuing the trend of middle evolutions for solo and speedrun, we have Lombre next. And unlike Riggs and Krugerrock, Lombre does not have the offensive pressure that they have. There are quite a few problems with Lombre. One of them is that he does not learn any grass moves leveling up. So essentially, we miss out on half our stat, or so you would think, and I will get to that in a bit. Another big issue is its base stats. So Lombre has a total base stat of 340, which is incredibly low, considering this is, I guess, an early evolution. The main issues with these stats is that none of them are really that high. So you got base 60 HP, base 50 attack and defense, base 60 special attack, and then its highest stat, base 70 special defense, and then it has a 50 base speed, making it incredibly slow. That makes things a huge problem in this run. Its typing isn't too bad, because at the very least it means that there's no 4x weaknesses, and it's also not weak to Corona, one of the biggest, I'd say, obstacles and walls in this game. So that part, it's on the bright side. There are actually a few decent stuff about this that actually I did not expect. So anyways, before I go into the run, here are the rules. Take a quick look and let's get into it. So, Lombre does not start off with any good moves. However, at around level 7, it does learn Nature Power. Now, I don't usually use Nature Power because it changes completely based on the environment. And I'm pretty sure in Gen 6, or it might just be X and Y, Nature Power can only be a special move. It is impossible for it to be a physical move, which is actually better for us. At least for how we utilized it. And big part about Nature Power that actually helped us insanely well this run is in overworld, or I guess overworld normal battles, it's Energy Ball, which is crazy because that's like the best grass type move we can get. And we technically can get the Energy Ball TM, but that's not until the 8th gym, so that's incredibly far away. We'd have to also beat Lysandre before we even get to use it. But with Nature Power, we're able to have it nice and early, so that's very nice. The big problem, if there was any big problem, I guess, in the early round, is in the first gym. I expected it to be Tri-Attack, but it was actually Energy Ball for some reason in the bug type gym. In the indoors, it ended up being Energy Ball, and normally I'd be like, yippee, that's amazing, but no, we are in the bug type gym, which means we do not want our Nature Power to be a grass type move. A normal type move, even if it isn't stat, would be much better. So we ended up suffering a lot here. We ended up slowing down a lot against the first gym because we had no way of just beating the gym leader. None of our attack did any damage with our low offensive stats, and we just don't get any good moves at the start of the game. But eventually, after fighting like pretty much every single trainer outside, we did end up getting Fury Swipes at level 15, and at the trainer school, you also get some free X items, so I don't have to use some money for that. And that gives you 3 X attacks and 3 X defense. So basically the plan was set up, I think, 2 X attacks on the Surge Kit, because the Surge Kit does not have Infestation or any bug type moves, so we are able to get nice and bulky on it. So by doing that, we get to +2 attack. And then for Vivillon, it's all about just RNG and just hope it goes for bad moves as we spam Fierce Swipes, because even at +2, Fierce Swipes was really not doing much damage, so it's kind of rough. But eventually we got pretty lucky with some of the RNGs and the AI, so we were able to take that down. I think we did get Bubble Beam, I think relatively soon after this. It might have been actually after, actually never mind, it was not relatively soon after this. Take that back. But anyways, next up is the second gym, Grant. Now, you would normally think this is probably going to be pretty easy, but in this gym, for some reason, and it's oddly specified that Nature Power is not Energy Ball, it is Power Gem, which is decent for Amora. But it's actually not enough damage since it's not stab, and we're not bulky enough to tank hits well from Amora, so we ended up kind of struggling. It took a few attempts where we realized that Takedown and Rock Tomb just did kind of too much damage and we couldn't really tank anything. and even if we did beat Amora out of pure luck, Tyrant was able to just 2-hit KO us with Bite or Rock Tomb. So it was kind of rough. It was kind of hard to figure out what to do here, especially since I didn't have Bubble Beam or any just water type moves, and our only like actually useful attack was Power Gem. And I guess Thief, but that wasn't really doing much as well. Eventually, I actually decided to try out using an X item, X defense, since we did have 4 of them. So I had to use that so I can take hits better, and that actually did help a lot. We were able to take enough hits from Moore to take that relatively healthy. And then for Tyrant, who came in, its attacks did less than half of our health, which means we could tank 2 hits before we'd had to heal, which is very helpful. And by doing that, we were able to just get enough hits in and just take it out. So with that, Grant, probably one of the also biggest balls, was taken down. And for Corna, obviously, I think around this point, I think for the Lucarias, I did get Bubble Beam, so I was able to just take them out. Using just some X, I think O power speed wasn't actually enough to even outspeed them. I just had to just I guess do my best with O power defense and O power special attack to just take it down with Bubble Beam. But I don't think it took too long to deal with. Next up with was, I guess, Corna's Gym, and this was actually a lot easier than I expected, because I guess I forgot to also mention, after the first time I did get the Swords Dance TM, because the idea was to use Swords Dance return, and also just because it was the only TM we could learn there. So I did actually decide to utilize that, because Swords Dance is just such a broken TM. And we actually do utilize it for the 3rd gym, because we do get from level up, we do learn Zen Headbutt, and Zen Headbutt is an amazing physical psychic type move. I think it's probably the best one, or best easily accessible one, other than like Psycho Cut. So that actually came really handy for the 3rd gym. But I'm pretty sure, so we were able to take out all the gym turns relatively easily, because all we needed to do was just set up Swords Dance and Zen Headbutt them, and that was no issue. They couldn't really hit us super effectively. But for Corna, it was actually kind of tricky, because even with O-Powers, we just did not have enough bulk to tank hits from Hawlucha. So what our strategy was to do for this is to go back into Glittering Cave, fight every single trainer, find pretty much every single wild Pokemon, because what we needed was to see enough Pokemon to get the Eviolite. Once we get the Eviolite and then pop in O-Power defense, we are able to take a Flying Press from Hawlucha, and that gives us enough bulk, and then we're able to and after tanking hits, we're able to get enough damage to just take it out in one hit. Well, actually, I guess at the start with Miafu, we are able to get enough damage to one-shot everything. The problem is just, I think with an O-Power speed, we aren't able to even outspeed Hawlucha. So basically, yeah, we just needed to tank a hit. And then Ramos, I think Ramos was pretty easy. Despite being a grass type and our stabs do nothing, we did have Swords Dance and Headbutt, and he couldn't really do too much to us other than, I think, Jump Plop, but we did have an Eviolite and O-Power, so that did actually come in handy a lot. And with Remosan, we get the Grass Knot TM, which actually I believe around this time I did decide to actually teach it to Lombre, even though that means like I lose out on using Energy Ball some of the times. It's still better just because at least it's guaranteed I'll always have it. Don't have to worry about the environment or terrain. And also, I guess right before Remus, I did get the Surf TM, so I was able to get a nice upgrade on my Water Stab. So with that, we were able to get nice 2 stabs right there. And so next up is Clement, and Clement proves to actually be no problem. We're able to tank everything relatively well, since we do have some nice special defense. I guess the main issue was just dealing with a Moga, but with an O-Power speed, we are able to outspeed it and able to take it out with Surf. And then we're also able to just take down Magneton pretty much relatively the same way. And then for Helios, since it did have Dry Skin, we just used that Headbutt instead. And then after beating Clement, it's time for Valerie, but Valerie honestly does not have much to do damage to us. It does hit relatively hard, but we do actually have some decent special defense, and especially with an Eviolite, we are able to tank hits much better. If there is anything problematic about Sylveon or Valerie, is that her Sylveon is a male. And why does that matter? Because its ability is Q Charm, and for some reason our Lombre is a female, so since we decided to go with the sword stance and headbutt set for this gym, it didn't really help when I got infatuated and just wouldn't attack the Sylveon whatsoever, so that kind of slowed me down a bit. So that was a bit of a struggle, but after dealing with that, it really was no problem. For Olympia, it wasn't too bad. I think I also set up X items here, or O powers. So the idea was just Sword Dance and then use Thief instead of Zen Headbutt. So I just completely got rid of Zen Headbutt. Wasn't going to reteach it again. Decided to just use Thief. And Sigilif, I did set up Reflect, which was a bit annoying. And then went for Air Slash. But the thing is, it missed Air Slash. Otherwise, we actually would have just died to it. So with that, we were able to just take out Sigilif, and then we were able to just take out Slowking and then Miastic right after, since we did have all the Sword Sands boosted for us. And then for Lysandre, I think wasn't too much of an issue. I think we just kind of had to set up beforehand. Oh yeah, and I guess Gyarados did kind of deal a lot of damage with Outrage. So the idea was to stall it out until it hit itself from Confusion. And once it confuses, or once it starts hitting itself in Confusion, it gives us an extra turn to just pop a Grass Knot on it. So with that, was pretty nice and useful. So with the first Lysandre fight down, the second Lysandre fight went relatively the same. We just had to find some way to take down Mienshao. And once Mienshao is taken down for, I guess, the third Lysandre fight, obviously we just got to use Protect on the Mienshao. And the main thing about Mienshao is we gotta hope it doesn't go for Sword Stance turn 1. We are able to live 1 Acrobatics, but if it goes for Sword Stance and then Acrobatics, it does kind of ruin us. So that was kind of an issue. But after beating Mienshao, I think if Pyro comes out, we are able to easily set up on that, because we do need enough damage to deal with Mega Gyarados. Luckily, since it does Mega Evolve into Water Dark type, we're able to just use Grass Knot to just take that out. And then so basically this Lysandre fight was actually I think relatively easy compared to some of the other Pokemon. And with Lysandre down, our only thing left is dealing with Wulfric. But before dealing with Wulfric, we do get 2 new moves. So Quarterway Town, where you fight Sycamore, if you go into the hotel after beating him, there is a trainer that gives you the Scald TM, and decides to get rid of Surf and teaches Scald because just I think it's just more helpful being able to get that chance to burn. And then also in the Pokemon Village, the route before that, Route 20, we are, by utilizing Cut, we are able to get the Energy Ball TM. So by getting the Energy Ball TM, we get a massive upgrade over Grass Knot, and we practically have our final moveset. The thing is, with Sword, so we're kind of a mix set here. We're with Sword Dance where we try and sweep stuff that have low physical defense, and also I guess just a typing that can resist Water and Grass. And then for anything else, obviously we just go for Scald or Energy Ball, and it's just kind of nice. And for Wulfric, Wulfric doesn't really do much damage. We are able to set up Sword Dance and then return on it, so he actually wasn't much of an issue, and with an O-Power speed we are able to actually outspeed Cryogonal. I'm pretty sure Cryogonal has Freeze Dry, or at least one of the gym trainers had Freeze Dry on their Cryogonal, so I'm not sure if his did. If he did, it probably would have been a problem if he didn't outspeed, but since at this point in the game we were kind of over leveled and we were using O-Power speed, it did actually give us a nice boost there. And so with that down, we do get the Ice Beam TM. We do utilize this Ice Beam TM a few times in this run, but in this last few battles. The first one is for the My Body is Ready trainer on Victory Road, who has a Trevenant. So first got to start off with an O-Power special attack to give us enough firepower, and then we just use that. Use Ice Beam to just take out the Trevenant there. But taking out Trevenant, we don't have to worry about being cursed or just hit with anything else, and Gigglet obviously isn't a problem. And then after that, it's just time for the Elite Four. So for the Elite Four, I started off with the Dragon one, and this is why I kept Ice Beam. It's just so I can actually deal enough damage to everything on her team. With an X Power special attack, we are able to just take out Dragalge and then just everything that follows. If there anything that was a problem, it was Druddigun, just because we took a bit of damage on Dragalge, and even though we're able to take out Atari on Noivern, it doesn't one-shot Dredigan, so we are able to get taking out there unless we heal beforehand. So by doing that, we were able to just take that out. And after taking that out, I decided to try out the water one, because I assumed that was probably going to be the next big problem. But with an O-Power special attack and speed, we are able to actually just take out everything in one hit. I think other than Gyarados, but Gyarados doesn't one-shot us, and we are able to just take it out with the energy ball. And the steel one, Wickstrom, is next, and that one it's not challenging, but I did have to spam X items just because I wanted to be extra safe, since he did have a Scizor that could Sword Dance X Scissor, or just X Scissor in general. And then there's an Aegislash with Shadow Claw that does ignore defense boost, not Shadow Claw, Sacred Sword. So I just wanted to be extra safe there, and since Klefki also tormented me, it does actually create chances of things going out of control, just going horribly wrong. So that's why I wanted to make sure I was able to win easily by using X items. And after that, obviously, it's time for the fire one. And the fire one, I usually save this for Lysis because it's usually the easiest one. So with X power, special attack, and speed, we're able to just take everything out with the Scald. And with all the Elite Fours done, it's the only thing left is for Diantha, and we do keep Ice Beam, I think, for this, because she does have a Gourgeist, and if we don't have Ice Beam, we literally don't have anything that hits it well. We'd just be hitting it with not very effective moves. So with an O power, speed, and special attack, we're able to just take out, I think I started off with an O power special attack, just so I can one-shot the Halucha, even though I knew it probably outspeed and flying press me, but I was able to just live a hit from it. And when Tyrantrum came in, I was also able to just take that out with Ice Beam, since at this point I did have the O-Power's special attack. When Gudra came out, this is when I took my chance to heal, since it doesn't really do enough damage, and I'm able to just take it down with Ice Beam. Warriors with Scald or Energy Ball, Gorgas with Ice Beam, and then Gardevoir, which is 2 Energy Balls. And it does go for Moonblast, but it is enough to take down us, and with that we're able to beat the game at 3 hours 46 minutes and 40 seconds, which is actually faster than I kind of predicted, and I am actually pretty happy about this time, because I think I was originally predicting it to take slightly over 4 hours, but this wasn't too bad. Obviously, compared to some of the other previous Pokemon like Breaks and Krokorok, this is actually pretty bad for not very effective Pokemon, but I think it's one of the more realistic ones. As Breaks and Krokorok do have really strong firepower and speed, so they can kind of just sweep through a lot of this stuff by themselves, while I guess some of the weaker, not fully evolved Pokemon like Lombre just don't have enough firepower and doesn't have enough bulk, so it's all just overall just really mid. So I think this time is a pretty decent way to gauge how other not fully evolved Pokemon will do. So next up, we're gonna do actually a versus. So I'm going to be using Zweilous for a solo run, while my friend is going to be joining us on stream, and he's going to be using a randomized Florges. So that Florges obviously is going to be, while it has a very low diverse moveset, it is a fully evolved Pokemon with amazing stats, while we are using a Zweilous with god-awful stats and a god-awful ability. So look forward to see how that goes, although next video I will be mainly talking about how Zweilous goes, but you will be able to see the footage of the other point of view as well. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.